amigos de Wineus, estamos en Augustos, uno de los mejores restaurantes de Puerto Rico, y hoy tenemos un show espectacular. Me acompaña Janae, right? That's your name?
Yes, that's correct.
And Janae works for Alpha Omega,
Yes.
one of the top wineries in Napa. We're going to go back and forth between English and Spanish. And Janae, thanks for the chance.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me
How
here.
are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm fine. You know, it's a little rainy today.
It's a little dreary.
But
Yes.
thankfully we're under solid roof here.
Yes.
So before going into each wine specifically, just tell us about yourself. How'd you get involved with the wine world?
Well, I actually started out in fine dining restaurants as a server, so I got into wine that way, just selling it to tables, and you know they really make you learn your wines in order to be a server in fine dining restaurants. So that's really how I got into it.
You're originally from California?
No, I am originally from Oklahoma.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Nice.
I'm kind of a southern girl.
Okay.
You know, so fine dining restaurants in Oklahoma City. And got into wine that way. After fine dining restaurants, I moved into working for a distributor.
Okay.
And so I did that for a little over 2 years and really got to know wines there.
Okay.
And not just California wines, wines from all over the world.
Nice.
We had a really nice portfolio.
So you were exposed to many different regions.
Yes.
And in a way that helped you because obviously many of our friends from Napa are kind of stuck in Napa or in California.
Right.
So by not being there all the time, you were exposed to different things.
Exactly. I mean, we sold wines from France and Argentina, and I even sold sake. And so, we had a nice portfolio.
Wine is a big sake fan. Yeah, he drinks everything. Yeah.
Kind of flirting.
Yeah, he's probably whispering things in your ear. Yeah. Tell us a bit about Alpha Omega.
Well, Alpha Omega is a fairly young winery.
Okay.
We've only been around now for 7 years. But our head winemaker, his name is Jean Hofliger.
Okay.
He's from Switzerland originally, the French-speaking side of Switzerland. But he trained in Bordeaux. So he started out winemaking at Chateau Lynch-Bage, Chateau Carbonieux, and then he went to South Africa for a while, was winemaker at Meerlust before coming to the U.S., where he started out as head winemaker at Newton Family Vineyards.
Yes, I know that winery as well.
Fantastic winery.
And for how long have you guys been around the winery? When was it first established?
2006, we opened our doors.
That's very young, and your product is so amazing that even though you only have 7 years, already you've made headlines.
It helps to be. First of all, we're open to the public, and we're right off of Highway 29, which is the main drag in Napa Valley.
Okay.
So that has really helped us. Plus, it helps to have a good product.
Yeah, it always helps. It always helps. So we have 4 wines here. You say you wanted to speak about these 2 first?
Yes, I do. So these are our main wines that we started with at the winery. First is our proprietary red.
Okay.
This is one of our very first wines ever produced.
You said you wanted to discuss this wine, right? This Alpha Omega, the proprietary wine?
Yeah, this is our proprietary red, which is what you have in your glass right here. This is the 2000...
Cheers, by the way, and welcome to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Salud, that's good.
Thank you. This is the 2010 vintage, which is a brand new release. We actually haven't even released this at the winery yet, so you're one of the first to get to try this.
It's exclusive for Puerto Rico. Good.
So this is a proprietary red blend. It's a Bordeaux style blend. Our blends change every year just depending on the vintage. We're not Coca-Cola. We're not following our strict recipe. So this is 49% Cabernet, 40% Merlot, 9% Petit Verdot, and 2% Cabernet Franc.
I love the nose because it feels powerful. It's fruit driven, but it smells fresh. There's freshness.
So we do something a little bit differently than a lot of other wineries. We do a lot of what's called barrel fermentation. So we are fermenting right in a French oak barrel, just the small one, not the big barrels, but just the small French oak barrels. So what that does for the wine is it actually integrates the oak into the wine at an earlier stage in the life of the wine, making the oak softer earlier on, making the wine more approachable at a younger age.
It's really lovely.
So they're very elegant. They're very they're fruit driven without being too much of a fruit bomb.
It's not over the top.
No,
not
exactly.
at all.
And that's where the name Alpha Omega actually comes from. It refers to a balance between Old World and New World.
That's the beginning and the end, right?
The beginning and the end, exactly.
And this retails for how much? Give me the our friends at AW&S, Javi Cintron, Nino, Manuel, obviously friends of our program. They carry these wines. They're your representatives here in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
How much does this wine go for?
This retails in the $90 to $95 range.
Okay, yeah, it's a very high-end wine, and it's delicious. In terms of aging, how long can you keep this wine for?
Oh man, this one could go for 20 plus years.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Gosh, that's
absolutely
amazing. And in terms of wine food pairing, we always try to recommend alternatives to our friends. What would you pair this wine with?
I have had this with lamb, and it's been amazing. I've had it with your typical steak.
Yeah.
Not
we
super fatty
we
piece,
eat a lot of churrasco here, like a skirt steak.
Right.
So any meat, any red meat would go beautifully with it, right?
Yeah, any type of grilled meat. I wouldn't do anything too terribly fatty. I just think that might overwhelm it a little bit because it is a pretty delicate wine.
It's delicious. I find it very yummy without being jammy.
Exactly.
It's delicious. It has a delicious component to it. And now let's move to this. This is the Mac Daddy, right?
This is our flagship.
The Big Kahuna.
This is it. Yes.
This is Big Brother. This is Wino likes to purchase these wines, but he only can afford $10 bottles. So no era for him. Tell us about this wine.
So this is our flagship wine.
Okay.
This is called Era, as in a new era of winemaking.
Okay.
With the old world meets new world, with the natural barrel fermentation. So not only are we fermenting in French oak barrels, but we are only using natural yeast.
Okay.
So that means we're not inoculating with industrial yeast. We're only using the yeast that is present on the grapes themselves.
And the fruit is top notch for this. It's
Absolutely.
the best fruit.
Beckstoffer Tocolan,
Oh, really?
Beckstoffer Missouri Hopper, Beckstoffer George III,
Yeah.
Stagecoach, Newton. So yeah.
Creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme.
Caldo de la calandriaca, as we say here in the program.
That sounds much better than how I say it.
Okay. And tell us about this
so
one.
this is 100% fermented in French oak barrels.
And the grapes in
every
here?
bit of it. This is 85% Cabernet,
Okay.
10% Cabernet Franc, and 5% Merlot.
And this wine, in terms of price, how much does it go for?
This one retails at about $210.
Okay, so it's a big boy.
But we only make 800 cases of this, and it's in 3-pack wood boxes.
And it's still reasonable when you think about all those other big names that use Tocalan grapes that are in the 400, 500
Exactly
range.
right, exactly right. And so, you look at this wine and you think, oh, this is your flagship wine, this is going to be a beast, it's going to be massive. It's really not. With our wines, the farther up you go, the more elegant and the more finessed they get.
So this is a wine that's probably, and correct me if I'm mistaken, this is probably a wine that's delicious now, but it will get better in 10 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it can hold or last 30, 35 years, right? So if I purchase this wine, I can, my grandchildren could probably try this wine.
You're absolutely correct.
The future.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And in terms of pairing with food, what would you suggest for this one?
We had some beautiful duck ravioli today with some foie gras that would have been amazing with this.
Amazing.
It's just, they're so food friendly that they go with
Probably
so much.
with one of these wines, obviously it's a big wine that requires a little bit of contemplation. Maybe you want to drink it, with maybe like a little cheese on the side and like open it and just enjoy it on its own. Maybe, right?
those nice cheeses that have some of those good salt crystals in them. Those go wonderfully with these. Not too sharp of a cheese.
I hope my wife is watching the program because my birthday is tomorrow. So this would make an amazing gift, right?
Yes, it would.
Okay,
Happy
and now,
birthday.
thank you for that. And now moving on to the other line, right?
Yes.
The other wines. Tell us about these two other wines.
So we have recently started a second label.
Okay.
This is called 2 by Alpha Omega. Like Alpha Omega, 2 refers to the two worlds. Old world meets new world. We have created this line specifically.
I see that there's a big philosophical component to the winery and to the idea.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because Jean trained in Bordeaux,
Okay.
but obviously New World fruit from Napa.
Is it American-owned Alpha Omega, the winery?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. So we created 2 specifically for restaurants. So we do not sell these at the winery.
Okay.
We can only get them out in the marketplace.
Yep.
So we wanted to create wines that were fruit driven, but not too much fruit. They're not overly oaked. The Chardonnay is not overly buttery. There's still really good acidity,
Okay.
good structure, really well balanced, that go wonderfully with food. They're not wines that you have to open up 4 hours before you drink
Right,
them.
right.
They're just, you can just crack them and go.
And our friends out there, can they purchase these wines at AW&S as well?
Yes, they can.
Okay,
Yes,
amazing.
they
Do you
can.
know the price for the chard approximately?
The Chardonnay is typically about $35.
35. That's a good price, very
Yeah,
reasonable compared to other chards that I've had from other wineries that are obviously delicious as well. But some of them are like reaching the 50, 60, 70 mark.
Right.
And
right.
and does this see any wood? Does this?
It only sees about 50% oak.
Okay.
Only 30% of which is new.
Okay.
So not a whole lot of oak on it, and it only goes through 50% malolactic fermentation. So it's not overly
what about
buttery.
some lobster on the side? What do you think?
Perfect.
Perfect, right?
Lobster, crab, some nice, not overly creamy pastas, but a little bit of cream, butter sauce pastas,
Right.
chicken, some kind of poultry.
Great.
Yeah, perfect.
Can
Perfect like
Chardonnays
that.
age? What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I've heard that a lot of people want to drink their whites fairly young, and they probably think, and mistakenly so, that chards can't age.
Oh no.
But they can, right?
Yeah.
So you can purchase a 2010 Chardonnay or 2011 Chardonnay and open it in 2018, 2017.
It depends what type of Chardonnay. It depends how it's made.
Okay.
For instance, if you buy a Chardonnay, an unoaked Chardonnay, you probably want to drink it in 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
If you buy a Chardonnay that's seen some oak aging and malolactic fermentation, yeah, you can definitely hang on to that for 10, 15. I mean, there are some white Burgundies out there that are
I've had those Chassagne Montrachet.
incredible.
Yeah, Pouligny Montrachet.
Oh,
yeah, they're
absolutely.
incredible. They're incredible.
So,
But the temptation is always there, right? To open the
oh,
wine.
yeah,
I
well,
want it
that's
now.
the society we live in.
This is America,
Instant
right? Instant gratification. There you go. And how about this wine right here, the number 2?
Two
I love
red.
this label.
Aren't they pretty?
It's very elegant.
Yep, that's
it looks
what
like from a movie.
what we
movie
do.
Poster. Yeah, it's
So 2 red, it's also a Bordeaux style blend, but the difference between these two, this one spends much less time in oak, so only 14 months in 70% new French oak.
okay.
Again, fruit driven, good acidity, very food friendly. It's 63% Cabernet, 29% Merlot, and 8% Cabernet Franc.
Okay.
Our good vineyards still go into this. It's not declassified fruit. It's not bulk juice.
Okay.
It's from Jaeger, Parada, and Mutant Vineyards.
Okay.
So you're getting some mountain fruit. You're getting some valley floor fruit.
A little bit of everything in there.
Yeah. It's a wonderfully balanced wine.
And this retails for how much?
This one is about $45. So
Okay.
still not.
These
Not
are
too
great
expensive,
prices.
yeah.
Well, I'm thankful for the opportunity. I would like to obviously have you say a couple of words to our friends about the winery. Maybe if they ever go to Napa, visit you guys. Are you guys on Facebook? You have a Facebook like
We
page?
do. We actually have, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we're on Instagram. So follow us. We're at AO Winery is our handle. So,
And here in Puerto Rico, they can go to AW&S to get this amazing
yes,
wines, right?
Aficionados Wine and Spirits.
That's great, aficionados, I like that.
Thank you.
So, muchas gracias por vernos, amigos. Como han visto, hemos tenido un programa maravilloso donde hemos hablado de 4 vinos, una bodega muy prestigiosa de Napa Valley. Hemos tenido el beneficio de que nos han prestado las facilidades aquí el restaurante Augusto en el área de Miramar, en el área de aquí de Santurce, uno de los restaurantes más conocidos y prestigiosos en Puerto Rico. Les doy las gracias, ya tenemos sobre 3,000 personas en nuestra página de Facebook, en nuestro grupo. Tenemos sobre 4,100 views o reproducciones en nuestra página de YouTube y prontamente les estaremos trayendo más sorpresas. Gracias amigos por su patrocinio y por seguirnos. Salud.
Salud.